Shabbat Shalom and Happy Hanukkah. Today I will be presenting a Torah portion to you guys. It is Vayeshev. It is Genesis 37:1 to 40:23, Zechariah 2:14 to 4:7, and John 10:22 to 28. Today's Torah portion covers Joseph, the beginning part of Joseph. How he had the dreams and how his brother sold him into slavery, and then it takes a break and it goes into Judah, his story with his daughter-in-law, and then it jumps right back to Joseph, and it ends with on a really good cliffhanger. People that split up these Torah portions are very smart. It's like you're reading a good book late at night and you know that you're doing one more chapter, just one more. And then you reach the end of the chapter and it's really good and you just know you have to go to bed, but oh my goodness, because it ends with Joseph asking the cupbearer, please remember me and be kind and show me mercy by mentioning me to Pharaoh when these things happen. And Pharaoh the cupbearer is being restored, but he forgets about Joseph. So that's where it ends, and you go, what's next? We all know this story, but if this was the first time I've ever read the scriptures, then I would for sure keep reading to figure out what's going to happen next. It's a really thrilling story. It's very emotional story. It pulls on some emotions. For one, I think the biggest thing that stood out to me is we all know how Joseph had the coats of many colors and he was more highlighted, and we see this story with the perspective of we know what happened. We know the outcome. So yeah, he might have been maybe even a little bit annoying to his big brothers. But we know the end of the story, so it's okay, right? I think the biggest thing for me that I saw in this Torah portion that has just been keep going over and over in my head is the emotions of the brothers, the sheer hatred. To hate your own flesh and blood that much that you, without a shadow of a doubt, would be willing to kill them. That even the appearance of that person would provoke you to feel the need to kill them. I've never felt that kind of emotion. Not that. I think we all have emotions, though, that are so strong and they kind of take over of anything rational. And how do you come back from that? So it might not be that you hate somebody so much that you want to kill them, but what's the first thing that popped up in your mind? Like, what is something that takes over that you know is of the flesh, that you know is not of God? But God created us with feelings. God created us with emotions. And I think a big thing is laying it down at his feet, recognizing that these are emotions that I have and I do not seem to control them, laying them down at his feet. What would the story of Joseph have looked like if the sons of Israel would have recognized, and not just recognized, but also would have gone to God with their emotions, with their hatred? Now you see in this story, it's build up emotions. For one, I can't imagine how it must feel like to know that your little brother is loved far beyond you will ever be loved. Um, there's hurt there. There's hurt in this story. I think all around Joseph's story is a beautiful story of faith and how God moves and how nothing stands in God's way. Like even all the trouble on Joseph, but overall, if you read it, it's a story of hurt. It's a story of people not getting what they want and feeling hurt in such a way that is hard to explain. I think it's a buildup of things, but yeah, what would Joseph's story look like if their brothers realized what they were doing and asked God for help? Because we know that He does. We know that God is more than willing to listen to us and say, I'm gonna help you. I'm going to help you. And that's, I think, the beauty of maybe this story for us, knowing that we have the Holy Spirit, that we have the helper here, that connection to God and saying, I need help in this area. I need help where I know that when it comes to this area, I don't have a lot of control. It could be self-control. It could be something else. Like I need help in this. And the beautiful thing is that we have this promise that God will help us. It's usually through scenarios, and our faith is being built up by those scenarios as well. So asking for patience usually means that you're going to face a lot of scenarios where you're going to face your own impatience. But yeah, just the fleshly side of this, the pure hatred, is something that is really hard to shake. Something else that really stood out to me was God's commitment. God's commitment to all of us, but God's commitment to Joseph. He made me think this morning about our little dog that we used to have. He was a little terrier, and if any of you know terriers, they're committed. If you throw a bone and you want to get that bone back, they are committed to keep that bone. You can lift them up and everything and shake them, and they'll shake too, and they'll just still grab onto that whatever you're holding. They will not let go. They are the definition of being committed, and I see that's how God is committed to us, and also how He wants us to be committed to one another, to our community, our congregation, the people around you, to Him. He wants you to be that committed, and it's not always going to be fun. Just like for Joseph, it wasn't always fun. Not at all. For years, many, many, many years. And then there were moments where it was fun and where it was good. And I feel like that's the same thing with being committed with your community and wanting to see it grow and flourish. It doesn't happen overnight. It means biting into that chew toy and not letting go. Being here for the ride, being here for the shaking and the lifting and the tugging. It is being here completely, giving everything you have. It's being committed to God. It is being committed to one another. That is the kind of commitment that He wants. That is the kind of commitment that He is seeking for. So I think with everything going on this year too, what I saw in this Torah portion was, for myself, be kind. Be kind, because you don't know what somebody is going through. You don't know what hurt somebody is carrying with them. I love you all. Shabbat Shalom.